The impossible dream made possible. 13 Premier League titles by the greatest British manager ever, Sir Alex Ferguson.
Since May 2013, the manager's seat at Old Trafford hasn't been a throne, it's been a lightning rod. For over a decade, Manchester United has been a club obsessed with its own past, desperately trying to reclaim the DNA, while the rest of the footballing world moved into the future. We've seen every archetype. We've had the next best thing in David Moyes, the tactical professor in Louis van Gaal, the winner in Jose Mourinho, and the nostalgia act in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Yet, none of them could bridge the gap between Ferguson's ghost and the modern game. But now, a 39-year-old Portuguese visionary named Ruben Amorim has arrived. The media calls him the new special one, but they're looking at the wrong predecessor. Because if you go back and look at the final forgotten lectures given by Sir Alex Ferguson at Harvard.
I've come to Aberdeen, north of Scotland, to manage Manchester United, biggest brand football brand in the world. I'll tell you, I was scared. I had a lot of trepidation about it because this is a massive club. But I said to myself, I am not going to change. I am not going to change, I'm going to do what I believe in.
And his final tactical shifts in 2012, you realise something shocking. Amorim isn't just a random choice. He is the physical manifestation of exactly what Ferguson warned United they would need to become to survive the next decade. But to see the prediction, we have to look at the one tactical experiment Ferguson tried in his final season. An experiment that the media at the time called a mistake, but today is the foundation of Amorim's entire empire. In the 2012-13 season, Ferguson knew the game was changing. The era of the rigid 4-4-2 was dying. While the world remembers Robin van Persie's volleys,
Percy making a trademark run again, and what a ball to pick him out, and what a finish! A magnificent goal by Robin van Persie!
They forget that Ferguson was obsessed with the extra man. He began playing a diamond, pushing his fullbacks so high they were effectively wingers, and dropping Michael Carrick into a back three during the build-up. In his Harvard Business Review papers, Ferguson stated, "The next evolution of the game isn't about positions, it's about the control of space through transitions." He predicted that the dominant team of the future wouldn't rely on individual brilliance on the wings, but on a systemic suffocation. This is the core of Amorim's philosophy. He doesn't see a back three as a defensive measure. He sees it as a way to create a five-man attack that is impossible to track. For 10 years, United managers tried to buy United-style players. Amorim is the first one since Fergie to demand a United-style system. However, there is a reason why every manager before Amorim failed to implement this. It involves a secret vow of silence that Ferguson demanded from his players, one that Amorim has resurrected in Lisbon.
People say I'm ruthless. I'm not ruthless. I'm doing my job for Manchester United.
Sir Alex Ferguson's greatest strength wasn't his hairdryer treatment. It was his ability to make every player feel like a cog in a world-class machine. He famously said, "No player is bigger than the club." Under subsequent managers, that rule was broken. United became a club of star brands. Ruben Amorim has fixed this at Sporting. He took a club that hadn't won a title in 19 years and turned them into a ruthless tactical cult. In Amorim's 3-4-3, your name doesn't matter. If you don't track back 40 yards in 5 seconds, you don't play. This mirrors Ferguson's 2006 to 2009 era, the Tevez, Rooney, Ronaldo years, where the fluidity was so high that positions became irrelevant.
Tevez, Ronaldo, wonderful football, capped by an exquisite finish.
Amorim's United 2.0 isn't about finding the next Ronaldo, it's about finding the next structure. When you watch Sporting play, they don't look for a magic moment. They look for the systemic error in the opponent. But there is one major problem. Amorim's system requires a specific type of player that Manchester United has spent £600 million avoiding, and his arrival might mean the end for some of the club's biggest names. His is where the Ferguson prediction gets eerie. Sir Alex once noted that the biggest danger to a big club is the comfortable star. Amorim's tactics utilize two number 10s who operate in the half spaces. Amorim doesn't use traditional wingers who hug the touchline. He uses inside forwards. If Ferguson were managing today, he wouldn't be playing with 1999-style wingers. He'd be doing exactly what Amorim does, using the wing-backs to provide the width, while the creators move inside to overload the midfield. This is the Manchester United 2.0 that Ferguson hinted at in his later years. A team that sacrifices flair on the flanks for dominance in the middle. But can the current squad handle the physical demands? Because there is one stat from Amorim Sporting that is so extreme, it would make even the 1992 class of '92 sweat. Ferguson's United was built on the late goal. But Fergie time wasn't magic, it was fitness. His team simply outran everyone in the last 15 minutes. Since he left, United has consistently ranked in the bottom half of the Premier League for distance covered and high-intensity sprints. Ruben Amorim's teams, however, are physical monsters. They play with a suicide press that requires every player to be a marathon runner. Ferguson once said, "If you don't work, you don't stay." Amorim has proven he isn't afraid to bench captains or sell fan favourites if they don't hit his physical metrics.
The reason is the training. The way I see what a footballer should do in training, in life, and is every detail. So if things don't change, I will not change.
So if you're still here after the window closes, the same situation?
It's the same situation for every player. If you do the maximum, if you do the right things, we can use every player. And you can see it today on the bench. We miss a little bit like pace to go, to change the game, to move some pieces, but I prefer like that. I will put Vital before I put a player that don't give the maximum every day. So I will not change in that department.
He is bringing back the requirement of effort that has been missing from Carrington for a decade. He is effectively Ferguson-izing the squad by force. So, if the tactics align and the intensity is back, why did nobody notice this prediction earlier? The answer lies in a hidden interview Ferguson gave in 2021 that changed everything. In a rare interview in 2021, Ferguson was asked about the future of coaching. He didn't mention formations. He said, "The next great manager will be the one who masters the speed of the transition." Ruben Amorim is the master of the transition. He has taken the power and pace of the Ferguson era and updated it with the tactical control of the modern age. Nobody noticed the prediction because we were looking for a person who looked like Ferguson. We should have been looking for a person who thought like him. Amorim isn't a throwback to the 90s. He is the evolution Ferguson knew was coming, but couldn't implement himself because time ran out. The Manchester United 2.0 isn't a dream anymore. With Amorim, it's a blueprint, and for the first time in 11 years, the ghost of Sir Alex might finally be able to rest. But there is one final piece of the puzzle. To make this work, Amorim needs his Roy Keane, and he might have already identified him in the current United youth ranks. Every great empire needs an enforcer. For Sir Alex Ferguson, it was Roy Keane, the man who demanded excellence through sheer force of will. But in the modern game, the enforcer has changed. It's no longer just about the tackle, it's about the intelligence of the press and the resistance to pressure. In Amorim's 3-4-3 system, the two central midfielders are the most exposed and yet the most vital players on the pitch. They are the double pivot. If they fail, the entire system collapses. Ferguson predicted that the modern midfielder would need to be a Swiss Army knife, someone who could defend like a centre-back but distribute like a playmaker. While everyone is looking at the transfer market for a £100 million solution, Amorim has likely already found his modern Keane in the Carrington hallways. Whether it's the preternatural calm of Kobbie Mainoo, who possesses the ice in the veins Ferguson loved, Amorim is looking for a leader who leads by positioning, not just shouting. He isn't just looking for a player to win the ball. He's looking for the player who can dictate the heartbeat of the match. But there is one final Ferguson rule that Amorim must follow to ensure these youngsters don't burn out before they begin. Sir Alex Ferguson's 2.0 isn't a ghost story anymore. It's a reality being built in real time. We've looked at the tactics, the history, and the hidden predictions. The only question left is, will the fans give him the time Ferguson himself was famously granted in 1986? Manchester United is at a crossroads. One path leads back to the cycle of failure. The other leads to the evolution Ferguson saw coming a decade ago. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like the video if you think Amorim is the right man. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our upcoming tactical breakdown of the Amorim era Manchester derby. Comment below, who do you think is the most important player in Amorim's new system?